Look at that face. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, I apologize. It says episode 95. This is, in fact, episode 96. And it is a Geekly update this week because there's a bunch of stuff going on in the news. So, as you can see, if you're watching us live on YouTube, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it's just me and my compadre, Mr. Messiah Complex Cosplay. How are you today, brother man?
Oh, hello. I am so good if I'd have to be twins just to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how good I'm doing. Yeah, no. Things are good. Things are very, very good. The podcast is going well. The pre-show was excellent. A lot of dirty perverts in our pre-show. You all know who you are.
I know. The melons are coming out already, and
terrible.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you should check out our technical difficulties pre-show at 6:45 Eastern Time every day on Instagram. Not every day, sorry, every Thursday on Instagram.
Like, look at this shit. Like, already. Like, I was told I should show my melons here.
Well, there you go.
Victoria Brown. I mean, it's not that kind of show.
Again, I'll keep saying it. You know, these guys have changed the name of the platform because you guys keep making fun of them.
Always got my mind in the gutter.
Yeah.
I think Pete's going through some stuff. He's got one melon, but then he's got like a slice.
A slice of melon.
I don't know what's happening with Pete. Pete, are you all right, Peter? What's going on, brother?
It's watermelon.
Are you good?
Guys, before we get into this show today, which is just going to be a couple of guys rambling on because we're nerds and every nerd has their own podcast, right? If you are watching us live on YouTube, please take a second and click the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. It costs you nothing and it really helps us out. If you click the like button, it really helps propagate this show through the YouTube verse. And if you click the notification bell, it'll make sure you always get notified every time we upload a new video, which, by the way, we've got a couple new videos coming this week because the after show is back. That's right. If you did not know, we have a Star Trek Strange New Worlds after show, and we're actually doing a Marvel Secret Invasion after show as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those shows. They're a very good time. They're a good time to record anyway.
Agreed. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. By the way, did you know this weekend? Actually, I'm sure you do. You didn't know, but you're probably going to notice that some of our Alberta friends are not joining us today because it's Calgary GameCon this weekend. First inaugural Calgary GameCon. There's a bunch of celebrities that are going to be there. A lot of the Geek Boutique and the Geeks Co friends are going to be at the show. So I hope you guys have a great time. I hope it's a great inaugural show for them. Hope they do well because I really want these guys to come out east. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Game-based convention, obviously, coupled with cosplay. I mean,
Jennifer Walterhouse, producer Jen says, "I think it's episode 95, Jeff. You're allowed to have your opinion, Jennifer. You're just wrong. That's okay. And you know what? It's okay to be wrong. It's all right."
Yeah, as I was saying at the top of the show, I think
I'm so dead.
95, but I think we're actually at 96. So that could be my mistake. I mean, I am on prescription painkillers right now, so you'll have to forgive me.
I mean, fair. Hang on. Let me check. Let me go to the Geeks and Co channel. Go to the live.
All right. Fact checker Jeff is on the case.
91, 92, 93, 94. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe producer Jen's onto something. It does look like that. Maybe this is episode 95.
So I did screw up, is what you're saying.
No, you did not screw up. It is 95. Well, we screwed up previous, but it is 95. So hold on. Let me change it.
Oh, we screwed up when we were talking about it earlier. There you go. 95. So 5 more to go to 100, guys.
Let me know when the sound gets annoying.
Well, any sound coming from your area gets annoying, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I love you, bud. Do you have any suggestions, any ideas, anything you'd like to see for episode 100? Send us a quick message. Find us on Instagram. Go shoot us a DM. Let us know what you want to see. Cancel Jeff. No, we can't hashtag.
Jeff. Sorry, Jen. Hashtag cancel Jeff. Yeah, bring it.
No.
Bring it. Just do it.
But yeah, any suggestions? Let us know.
Well, apparently it's going to be the Jeff is over party. So that's what we're doing for the 100th episode, guys. This is going to be a roast of Jeff. What am I talking about? We do that every fucking episode. Why would that's not a.
We could instead of it being me roasting you, we could have like an actual roast, right? A parade of people come up roasting you. No,
thanks.
Okay.
Hey, somebody, there we go. Somebody got the Sheila Buff reference. Absolutely. Peter saying, "Never, we need you." That's very, very kind of you to say, sir. I don't want to make him cry. We know that's a lie. I think that nothing would make you happier than making me cry, producer Jen. Chris over there
for 100.
That was Batman saying that's nothing new, and Andrew Saxon saying Fight Club for 100. Yeah, I mean, hey man, I will take on all comers. I will fight you and all your melons. I don't even care. Like, you're not scaring me.
Keith is saying episode 100 should be producer Jen doing a recap flashback show. I mean,
if you can convince her to do that, I think that's a fantastic idea. Good luck, by the way.
I agree.
But if you could convince her to do that, that's a smashing idea. Yeah, he and I could just sit back and watch the episode happen, and she can just put together a package. Maybe she can get Megan to help and put together like an edited package of their favorite moments of the show over the last 100 episodes. So that's a pretty great idea.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea at all.
Yep. All comers. Peter. Come on, Peter. Let's keep it at least PG-13 here. All right.
That's good. That's really good. Did you know Black Mirror is back?
I did. It kind of it was off for like 4 years, and then I saw like one little blip on one piece of media that it was coming back, and then that's all I heard. I didn't know. Is it actually on right now?
It is. The whole
nobody's fucking talking about it.
It released last week. It's been out for a whole week, and I didn't find out until yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before I found out it was out. Now, I say that like I'm going to be watching it the second I get off of here, and I'm not.
No.
Because Black Mirror freaked me the fuck out, and I said, nope, and I've never gone back.
I watched everything they put out
Jen
up until it took this big break.
Was great. Jen, are you saying the first episode ever was great, or the first episode of the new season? Because I didn't realize you had started watching the new season. But again, I'm not. It freaked me out. It was, the social media one was really fucked up.
I mean, that's kind of what it's meant to do, though, right? Like it
is,
right? Like
everyone is traumatized by it, exactly. But it's supposed I don't need that in my life. I absolutely do not need that.
You know what? It's kind of one of those shows where you have to be in the mood for it. You know what I mean? Like you have up for knowing that you're going to see some fucked up shit. My problem is I think it was just off the air for too long. I think it took too long a break. 4 years is a long time, man. People have short attention spans, so I think it was too big a break between seasons. First episode of the new season was great. Wasn't a fan of the last season, is what producer Jen is saying. So
she did watch the first episode.
There you go. There you go. Has anybody else watched any of the new Black Mirror and wants to give us some feedback on what you've seen?
From the trailer, there's a lot of fairly well-known actors in this new one.
Right.
A lot of faces you recognize. I mean, Ethan Hawke is in this.
Right.
Who else was in it that I saw? I was like, anyway.
Oh, that guy.
There's a lot of recognizable faces in it. But yeah, again, I wanted to talk about it because I feel like nobody's talking about it, and I didn't even know it was out.
I'd seen like some little, like I said, some little blurb that it was back or coming back or something, and then nothing. I didn't hear anything about it after that. I was like,
Annie Murphy, Salma Hayek,
I don't know who Annie Murphy is. I know who Salma Hayek is. Who's Annie Murphy?
She was in. Hang on.
Help me out, kids. Who's Annie Murphy?
Annie Murphy. Schitt's Creek. You know what? I don't know most of these movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, there you go. That makes two of us.
I don't know most of these movies. Picture this.
Schitt's Creek. Yeah, I haven't watched Schitt's Creek, so maybe that's why. Shrek episode is still my favorite, says producer Jen. Yep. Episode 6 has a fun twist. Episode 2, I thought, had some surprises. Okay. So it sounds like you've seen the whole thing.
Oh, I thought there were only 5 episodes this season. I could be wrong, but And that's another thing that's weird about Black Mirror, how like some seasons only have 3 episodes and other seasons have 6 and others have 4, and it's never consistent. Maybe it's one of those things where they get renewed for how many ever episodes they get renewed, and if they do well, they renew them for a couple more episodes. And I mean, I don't know.
I don't have the fog. That's usually not how Netflix operates, though. It's usually like just here's a bunch of money, just go make shit. So I don't know. That's
I don't know.
Does anybody know what Eric's talking about? Eric is saying you guys hear who they cast for in the new season of Stranger Things. I have not.
No.
Is there some juicy news on casting for?
I don't know.
The next season of Stranger Things.
I haven't heard anything.
Stranger Things casting.
Although I haven't even seen the last season, so I don't know. There's no real news that I'm seeing here. Oh, Linda Hamilton.
Oh shit! I did see. Oh, you're right. Yes, I did see that come across. Stranger Things with Linda Hamilton. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Sarah. Yeah. Well, Sarah Connor. Well, I don't think she's going to be portraying Sarah Connor. As cool as that would be, by the way.
That could be interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it'll depend on what type of role that she plays, but
if it could tie in somehow.
I mean, they're really good
at franchises. That'd be crazy.
They're really good at not dusting off, but like Matthew Modine and Winona Ryder. Like they're really good at already bringing back like classic like 80s and 90s actors that were big then that maybe have not had, you know, a lot of stuff recently and bringing them back for this kind of stuff. So I would assume it would be something similar to that. I don't know. I don't know how you would tie in the Terminator to Stranger Things, but hey, man, weirder shit has happened. Who knows, right? I think
weirder shit has happened.
Weirder shit has happened. I think that would be a very bizarre sort of twist as far as that goes, but
I don't think there's anybody else. That's it, as far as I can see.
By the way, who here has seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Who in the chat has seen Across the Spider-Verse? Because I've seen it twice now, and I liked it even more the second time. I can't stop thinking about this damn movie. I really parts of it in my head all day at work. I have the soundtrack going in my ears now so I can relive aspects of the movie. Like I'm living for this film. My goodness, this might be my favorite comic book movie of all time. Like I'm having a hard time thinking of anything that tops it.
You said that last week, didn't you?
It's so good. And then my youngest daughter wanted to go see it. She wanted to take me out for Father's Day. So we went out, we got lunch, we went and saw the movie again. And I thought like 5 times for Peter. Good for you. Loved it so much. I mean,
5 times. Wow.
Yeah, I can't stop talking on the Spider-Man tickets, Jeff. Yeah, I still got by the way, too, a friend of mine messaged me today that got spoiled on a cameo that's in it. So do yourself a favor and especially if you're someone that likes to go on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff, you're probably going to start seeing some spoilers. There are some cameos in it. You're going to want to go see the film before anything gets spoiled for you. Because I got a message today. They were like, "Oh my God, is this person in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, they are. Sorry, that got spoiled for you." But
I had a Flash spoiler or Flash cameo spoiled to me today.
Yeah, I've heard a couple people talking about spoilers for Flash. I've been lucky so far. I have dodged all that. So.
So, you know, I mean, spoilers are spoilers, right?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
You know,
we live in a society.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be that guy that would go online looking for scripts and leaked information. And like, I've never cared about spoilers. Bring them on. Right?
Yeah, I got a few friends like that too. They're like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit. Just tell me what happens." Like, I don't care about being spoiled.
I'll still watch the movie. Like, especially if it sounds like it's good. If it sounds like it's shit, I might not go watch it. But
I end up feeling for other people. Like, I remember, like, I don't know. It was something to do with Game of Thrones at the time when Game of Thrones was huge, and there was something that happened like that night, and people were posting about cosplays that they were going to do based on what had happened that night on Game of Thrones. But what had happened was like a major thing. And the cosplay they were discussing referenced it specifically. And I did make a post saying like, guys, like there's people who have
last night.
Like literally it happened like 10 minutes ago. Like, can we give people some kind of a chance to like see this before you start jamming about it on the internet? But you know, yeah, that's what are you going to do? Chris is wondering, and I'm kind of wondering too, has anyone gone to see the Flash movie?
I haven't seen either.
I've not seen Flash yet, but I'm eager to go see it.
So here's the thing. You know, Across the Spider-Verse, everybody that I know that has seen it has absolutely loved it. Whereas The Flash seems to be getting a lot of mixed reaction. And I think you made a good point earlier when we were off the air. I don't know if it's Ezra thing with everything that's happened with Ezra and all the shenanigans. Like, is that affecting people that much that they're like I don't
Okay.
know.
So first of all, let me just say, my boy Groot, FYI, I'm down the loop and we are not canceling Jeff. Thanks, Steve. You brother, right here in my heart. But Keith is saying he has seen The Flash. Chris said he saw it and he gives it an 8 out of 10. So Keith, do you have some impressions about the movie that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give us a quick recap here of your thoughts out of the movie, we'll bring it up on screen here and read it out. But yeah, I mean, I kind
I'm
of
hearing universal
it.
praise for Michael Keaton. That's the one thing I'm
Yes.
hearing over and over again, that Michael Keaton just kills it as Batman and everybody loves him in it. But the biggest complaint I'm actually, believe it or not, and I'm seeing some people talk about Ezra. The biggest complaint I'm hearing is not Ezra. From what I keep hearing is, especially in the front third or front half of the movie, the CGI is really, really bad. Like it's bad.
Really?
I've read that on several different sites, several different reports. They're talking about how the front half of the movie, the back half, the CGI is way better, but the front half is not good. So I don't know. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So Michael Myers is saying, as of Monday, Flash has reportedly made less than Black Adam on its opening weekend, which sucks. So,
wow.
yeah. And Steven saying something, I just don't like Ezra as Flash, but that's me. That's fine. I think JS mentioned this on the pre-show. Maybe it was before we were talking earlier. This movie was never really going to get like a fair shake as far as that goes. Like it was already kind of behind the 8 ball. It's I guess you would consider it the last of the DCEU or the last of the Snyderverse films. So that it already has that against it. Plus all the stuff going on with Ezra, that's a problem. So it was always going to have a really, and of course now it's also a multiverse, but it's now like, post, like everybody else has already done multiverse movies. Yeah. So Key's saying the same thing as Chris. Overall, enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. Lots of cameos to watch for. A movie is getting some heat due to Ezra's mess. Yeah. So, like Ant-Man bad. No, it doesn't seem to be quite as universally. I was saying this to JS earlier too. It seems like the people that have enjoyed The Flash absolutely love it. And there's obviously the contingent that don't. So it seems to be a polarizing movie, much like a lot of the DCU movies were. So
I almost feel like the whole multiverse thing is now being used to just be able to jam a bunch of cameos into your movie and not have to explain why they're there other than, oh, it's the multiverse, right?
brother, that's what it's been used for since the start. Like that's the
yeah,
problem,
and
right?
they're selling tickets based off of not even a good, like, look at Doctor Strange.
That was terrible.
Right? It was terrible.
It was not
right?
good.
Look at
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Far From Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yep.
It wasn't brutal, but
better than Doctor Strange for sure. Yeah. Like right now, as far as I'm concerned, the only film universe that's doing multiverse any justice whatsoever is Spider-Verse. It's the only one.
Yeah.
Because again, they're doing something that the other ones should be doing. Is of course they're still using it as a gimmick. Don't get me wrong, but they're allowing the story to drive it as opposed to letting the multiverse. The cameos shouldn't drive the story. The story should drive the cameos. That's clearly 100%. That's not what a lot of them are doing, right? So you end up with this sort of quagmire of, which is why I think this is probably a good segue to talk about what you've got queued up on the screen here. What we really kind of need is something more grounded, something more in the, espionage style, something that's not really going to fuck about with all this multiverse and Kang and all this bullshit. Secret Invasion just dropped, guys. We've already recorded an after show for it. If you've been waiting for a Winter Soldier-esque show, this is your show, right? They're on Earth. There's references to space, and there's all kinds of still references to other Marvel shit too. They reference the Blip, they reference Thanos, they reference the Avengers, they reference all this. They reference Captain Marvel a lot. But at the end of the day, it's people, boots on the ground, mostly regular humans with some Skrulls mixed in, and it's essentially Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You trying to figure out who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, who's a Skrull and who's not. this seems to be the show that you've been kind of waiting for. If you've been waiting for that style, that much more get the fuck away from the multiverse and get more meat and potatoes, this is probably what you're waiting for. The first episode was a bit of a slow build, kind of kicked up at the end. There was a major shocker at the end, which we won't spoil here.
No, let's not talk about that. If you want to find out, go watch the episode.
The after show. Yeah.
Or watch the after show. Yeah.
Yep. We do take it. We do talk about it there, but it's definitely like, yeah, it's, and by the way, if you are a Sam Jackson, Nick Fury fan, it's not your dad's Nick Fury, by the way. It is a little bit of a different take on Nick Fury, but it is Sam Jackson. If you're a Sam Jackson guy and you've been waiting for them to kind of give him his own time to breathe and embody that character, this is also your episode. So reference, the show is like Blip, Aftermath, Body Snatchers. Yeah, basically.
Yes and no.
It's talked a lot about how Nick Fury, how much the Blip has changed who Fury is, and how he's essentially been in space pretty much since the Blip the whole time. Since he came back from the Blip, anyways, because of course he got blipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me.
Yeah, this show is very much a Winter Soldier vibe type show. It's less about superheroes with superpowers, and it's more about the intrigue.
Sticking these mother effing scrolls on this mother effing planet. That's a good Snakes on a Plane reference, sir. Well done.
And it applies well to this, because if you don't know what the Secret Invasion plotline is, basically, in the Marvel world, at one point, a lot of very, very high level people get replaced by Skrulls. At that point in the comics, they didn't even know Skrulls existed. If in the MCU, we all know about Skrulls and we know who they are, and we thought there was just a handful of them, and in fact, there isn't a handful of them. There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them, and they're replacing people at all levels in governments and companies, and you name it. Nick Fury's caught in the middle of all that, trying to figure it out and solve it. And I'm going to say this one thing, and it's nothing about the show itself. It's about my prediction of, I don't know that this show is going to have an actual resolution to the Skrulls problem. I'll leave it at that.
That's fair.
I don't think that this show is going to have a proper ending. Everybody's happy and everybody goes home. No.
Let me say this to you guys as well. If you haven't watched the first episode yet, because I have, if you're not super familiar with Captain Marvel, like I am not super familiar with Captain Marvel, I watched the movie once and never went back to it. I didn't particularly care for it. There's a lot of references to Captain Marvel in this, because most of this storyline was kind of started in Captain Marvel, as far as like the Skrulls and Talos and a lot of the characters that are in this. So maybe do yourself a favor, if you are keen to start this show, maybe give Captain Marvel a quick watch, or at least like read over the wiki or something like that, so you remember and know what happened there. Because I know there were references in this first episode that I simply did not get, because I'm not familiar enough with the Captain Marvel lore. I don't even know if it was. There might have even been some Ms. Marvel stuff in there that I didn't realize either, because I didn't watch that.
Yeah, so there might be some Ms. Marvel thing in there. I think they're potentially also purposely, like, this show is purposefully a few years later. Like Nick Fury's been in space for years, and like, do you know what I mean? Stuff has happened that we weren't necessarily privy to.
Right.
I think they're playing it that way, right? Like, they're playing it as in we're referencing things that maybe you don't actually know what or who those things are yet.
Well, this is where I'm getting confused about the timeline, which again is now like the MCU is getting almost as bad as the Fox X-Men. Like, now I don't really remember. Like, so we're saying that Fury's been in space a long time, but he was also gone for 5 years because he got blipped. He was one of the ones that got snapped.
Right.
So, but he was on Earth when he got snapped. So did he go to space after he got snapped? Has it really been that long since the snap that he's been in space for like years and years, or has it only been like a couple? And then when we see,
that's a good question. It's hard to say.
For the Marvels, Nick Fury is in the trailer for the Marvels, back with the eye patch, up on Saber, in his fucking leather coat. By the way, he looks nothing like that on this show. He doesn't even have the eye patch. He's got this big ass scraggly beard, this old dirty ass brown coat.
Yeah.
No eye
Scarred
patch.
up face.
He looks like your drunk uncle at the family reunion that nobody talks to. You know what I mean? Like that's what he looks like in this first episode. So does the Marvels take place after this show? Or did it take place before? Like, I fucking hate this. This is the problem when you just shotgun content out over and over and over and over again. And especially when you put a giant 5-year jump right in the middle of your content. Now everybody's like, well, what happens when? Because now I don't know. Because now you've got him popping up in 3 different things, but now you don't know what the fuck, when it happened or, I need a primer. I need someone to fucking write down shit for the old man to tell me when shit happened so that I know. Please, somebody put together a Nick Fury timeline for me so I can tell what happened, when, and how.
Peter here is making a good point. Skrulls equals a cameo fountain. Every single actor can make a comeback. That's right. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's how we get Robert Downey Jr. back, is a Skrull shape-shifting into Stark. Because he did say he's coming back.
When did he say this, sir?
Yeah. He announced that he's coming back for a cameo.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah. It's official.
Find me the verified article that you're talking about, because
I'm
not seeing anything like that, and that would be massive news if he said he's coming back tomorrow.
I will. Yeah.
Please do.
It was. I'm pretty sure
There's
it was massive.
No
news.
way. It can't be. That would be everywhere. Please find me that, because
I will.
Damn. I know they ask him that every time he goes out his door, but anyways, yes, please. I need a full-time line. So do I, Red Moon Glassworks. Please help me out. I need to know when things happen, because it feels like that Marvel's trailers basically spoiled this show. Like, we know Fury lives, and we know he gets his eye patch back, and we know he goes back up to Saber, and we know he cleans up, and we know he's okay. Like, so what was the point? He went to space after being unsnapped. Remember, Talos was playing him. Secret Invasion appears to be happening before the Marvels, because look and Fury. That's what I'm saying. So why would you put out a trailer for the Marvels that features a Fury in it? So now we already know, like, nothing. So before Secret Invasion starts, he's in space working on Saber, and then once Secret Invasion is done, he's in space working on Saber. So so who cares? So what's the point?
So hear me out for a second,
please.
You just said it yourself. He looks completely different, right?
Yeah.
But what if it's not Fury that's in the Marvels?
What if it's a Skrull?
Mm-hmm. We already know a Skrull. Thalos has been playing Fury, right? Thalos. Right. We've seen Thalos as Fury before.
We have.
So why could the Fury on Saber not be a different Fury completely?
He could, but yeah, sure. I guess. With that, sure. Yeah. Cool. Dumb. Super. I
don't know. I feel like there's so much they can do with this storyline, and they've already shown us in the first episode how deceptive they can be. Right? They can lead you in one place until you realize, fuck, I just got played. Right? They do it over and over again in the first episode, right? Yeah. So, I think that's listen, let's keep watching.
Oh no, we'll keep watching.
See where
but I get to keep complaining about it. Yes. Well, this is Key's got that's what Secret Invasion is going to set a bunch of stuff. That's what we're promised, but anyways.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it actually is, but we'll I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. You know what else is out right now?
What, JS?
Star Trek Strange New Worlds. No, folks, this is not going to become another Star Trek podcast.
Oh, but look at that. Look at Captain Daddy right there at the front.
But damn, I mean, this episode, guys, if you haven't seen this week's episode, you have to go watch it as quickly as possible. Amazing episode. Old school, next generation style of story, but in the setting of, obviously, more of a TOS style setting. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't really want to talk about the content, but man.
Well, like you and I talked about earlier, like it was already kind of pre-spoiled with the trailers that came out. So we know essentially how it ends up. We the journey is what this particular episode about. So by the way, I've been on Reddit and I've been on a couple of different groups right now already talking about this episode, talking about how it's one of the best Trek episodes ever. So I am very much in the minority on this one. I thought it was good. I actually preferred last week's episode to this week's episode. I get why people really like this episode, but it was very cliche and tropey and blah blah blah. It felt like,
you mean as to compare to stealing the Enterprise for
that's correct.
Time number 67?
For time number 2. But as far as trials go, this is like the 87th trial on Star Trek. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's yeah. And like I said, like we talk about it on the pre-show. Guys, if you really want to know our opinion on this week's specific episode, because we're not going to drop any massive spoilers
Time
here.
number 2, they literally stole the Enterprise in Picard season 3, and then they stole the Enterprise in the first episode of Strange New Worlds. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, sorry, time number 3 then. So Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, Picard season 3, and now episode 1 of 3 times. Sorry, 3 times in 60 years they've stolen it 3 times. Those go look up how many. Please, someone find out how many times someone or something has been on trial in Star. Jesus Christ, the entire Q storyline for 30 years was humanity was on trial. Come on, man. Come on, man. Captain Daddy. Yeah, Captain Daddy's not mine, guys, clearly, but I mean, look at that man. Are you shitting me? Where's Anson Mount been hiding this whole time? Because that is an attractive human. I mean, Henry Cavill's still my guy, but my goodness
so I'll
gracious.
Say this. We found out through some, friends of the podcast sources that have friends that work on the show that they're wearing a new undersuit under their uniforms now. They're wearing like a muscle suit under there.
Right.
And let me tell you something. It fucking works, man.
Well, here's
like
the thing.
They look fantastic in those uniforms.
But if you watch season 1, especially, and they actually did it this episode too, when Pike is like in his quarters, he's got the apron on and he's like cooking, he wears this shirt. It looks like a dry weave or like a dry flex shirt. Like it looks like an athletic shirt.
Right.
That brother works out. Like he's in good shape.
Sure.
And Spock, we saw shirtless in the first season, and he's in even better shape. Like those guys, everybody on the show is ridiculously beautiful. Like there's no wrong answers on that. This show looks like it's produced by the CW. Like that's how pretty everybody on the show is. But I do like the fact that the pretty is much more diverse, both in race or species or whatever you want to call it now that we're in a sci-fi setting, and age. Not everybody is a super young hot person. Like you get M'Benga, you get Una, you get Pike, where you get some older people that are also very physically attractive, but then you get your Ortegas and your Chapels and your Uhuras, where some younger, very attractive people, you know what I mean? So it's a good mix, I find, where there's a little something for everybody there. But handsome Mount, yeah, not Anson Mount, you're right, handsome Mount. That's you know what, that's the Red Moon Glassworks bringing on the heat there. That's, I mean, come on, dude. Like that's like I want to be jealous, but I can't. I just got to sit back and be like, sir, you've doing what you're taking care of yourself. Although I didn't remember, I thought it was just like a uniform change from season 2 Discovery Pike to Strange New Worlds Pike, but they really like jazzed it. Like they grade him, like they aged him for this. If you watch season 2, he's got a bit of gray, like his hair is almost like mine. He's got a bit of gray, but not like he's got it now.
Yeah,
not even close.
I think this is his natural hair.
Is that what this is? And they were kind of dyeing it for Discovery?
Yeah, okay. I feel like when you see pictures of him naturally, he looks more gray. He
looks like this? Okay.
So I think they probably were darkening him
hair
for Discovery.
Okay.
This looks better, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100% it looks better. No question there. I just didn't remember that it was that drastic between the two. I thought it was just the uniform that I was remembering was so different. But yeah, guys, if you're not watching Strange New Worlds and you're a Star Trek fan, what are you doing with your life, man? This is, we are in our good friend Black Captain Kirk, which we haven't seen Tim in forever. We got to get him back.
Yeah, we need to get him on again.
He mentioned this isn't the golden age of Trek. This is the platinum age of Trek. This is like, we're getting the Trekkiest Trek ever. So many shows, so much in development, so much going on to love.
Yeah, and there's Trek for everybody. So, there really even is. For little kids with shows like Prodigy.
Yeah, which I got to get to, man. I got to get back to that.
Yeah,
but I mean, bravo, guys. Bravo. Well done again this week. Strange New Worlds. You guys have not let us down. You haven't let me down yet. With a single episode, you have not let me down. So keep up the good work, kids. We love you, man.
The people that might work in the business of making movies, especially in the U.S., are, I'm sure, aware of the writer's strike that's going on right now. Still hasn't been resolved. First of all,
and not looking to be for a while yet. So.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I was just reading up on it, and they're still very far apart on some key issues. So we'll see how that goes. The last writer's strike happened at a time where they were in the middle of productions of a bunch of shows, and it actually killed a number of TV shows back then, right?
And
we
lost. Same thing's happening now.
Yeah, so we lost shows like Heroes, for example, because of the writer's strike, right?
Well, that probably for the best.
Well, I mean, it was a good show.
The first season of that show was some of the most amazing television at that time, and it just nosedived so hard and got so bad so quick after that.
Again, that was in the middle of a writer's strike, right? That's the second season was never really. I mean, they finished it at the end, but either way, do you think we're going to have that same issues with shows now? Are we going to lose a bunch of shows, do you think, because of this?
I don't know. I don't know about a bunch, but there's definitely going to be some. There's already been a couple of films that have been canceled. There was supposed to be a redo of Metropolis that's just been canceled. Because
they were redoing Metropolis, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep. So that just got canceled. So
still in an Art Deco style, or
I'm not 100% sure on what the style was supposed to be, but it was. I'm trying to find the original article for it because it was being done by like a classic film director.
Oh, I wasn't even aware.
Yeah, and it was like a passion project, but they were at a point where they had to keep, like, it was in development, active development, and if they couldn't keep writing on it, they couldn't keep keeping it. Sort of Metropolis remake scrapped before shoot. Sorry,
there you go.
Just bringing the article up here now. Mr. Robot creator Sam Esmail's long in the works big budget TV series adaptation of Fritz Lang's classic 1927 sci-fi film Metropolis is dead, according to Deadline, as a direct result of the writer's strike. And by the way, a potential actor strike is also on the horizon. So be aware of that. If that happens, then shit's really going to hit the fan. Because right now, in a lot of cases, so you can film right now, but you can only film what you've already got written, which means you can't change a single word
so that's the problem,
dialogue,
right? Is when you're filming a show, you don't just film what's been written. You always usually have a screenwriter or a script writer or whatever they call them in English on sets to make changes like that when you realize that something doesn't work and you have to change a line or whatever the case is. So most writers, like a writer's strike like this, is stopping production, period.
Devastating.
On a lot of shows. Yes. It's not just about, let's keep filming. No, a lot of shows can't film without a writer.
That's the big rumor going around right now. I don't even know if it's a rumor. I think it's pretty much confirmed. Deadpool 3 is filming right now, but the king of improv, Ryan Reynolds, can't improv anything filming Deadpool 3. He has to follow the script to the word to be in compliance with the writer's strike. So it's absolutely affecting productions across the board, TV and film. If the actors go on strike, then we're completely hosed. Yeah, production for SNW season 3 is down. There's so many shows that had to stop.
And they had just started
productions. Yeah. Anything that basically just started
season 3 and it's shut down. I think Discovery's done. So that's not going to get affected. Penguin is shut down.
Yes, Penguin is shut down. And there was something else that was shut down too. I thought there was a Marvel one that was shut down as well. I don't know what they were working on.
There's another big one, that I can't remember now. That's also being shut down. But
so many though.
It's going to cause a ripple effect once again in the entertainment industry, and
pay them.
I mean,
they're writers. You have nothing without them. Just pay them.
Yeah,
it's not hard. Just pay them.
Like,
you're making gobs of money. Just pay them. What's the problem? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree.
Dumb. Super dumb.
One production
can mount me anytime. Jesus Christ, kids. Boy. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not even going to say who wrote that. You know what? You probably all know who wrote that. Yeah, and someone else mentioned the last writer strike brought us reality TV. What's next? I am scared. No kidding.
Yeah.
I despise reality TV. And I'm not one of those ones either that despises it, but then still watches it as a guilty pleasure. No. I hate it and I can't watch it because it's so cringe terrible. Oof.
You know what
And
we
you know
are
what?
getting?
Not
You know what
judging
we
you,
are
but
getting?
speaking of cringe,
Yeah, we're getting this cringe fest.
this might be the worst trailer I've ever seen. I'm trying to remember another trailer of like a big budget film that was worse than this trailer, and I can't. The Morbius trailer was better than this trailer. Like at least the Morbius
The
trailer, I was like,
Morbius trailer made it
that might
look
be all
like
right.
Morbius. Yeah, it made it look
Yeah,
like it could be a
like
good movie, even though it was
that could be
shit.
pretty good. This looks like a steaming
This,
pile of shit.
like, how
this
is this even
looks
Craven? I don't understand.
has everyone. So so it leaked online, and so Sony had no choice but to release it, and so they released it, and they should have just let the leak out, because I don't know if they need to do more tweaking on this. It's help me out too, guys, for my Spider folks out there. If I recall correctly, because I never really collected Spider-Man, Craven doesn't actually have any powers in the comics. Is that right? I'm like, isn't he just the world's best big game hunter? Like, I didn't think he had any actual powers of any kind. In this, he very clearly does.
Oh yeah, he's got. Oh yeah, he can.
They give him like all kinds of animal. He's like Beast Boy, basically, is what he is. Like,
he can see through like Eagle's eyes, and like he's Wolverine powers.
Please, does anybody see this trailer and think, hey man, I really want to see that? And I get that this actor now has, especially after Bullet Train, I guess, because I got to be honest, everything he did before Bullet Train, with maybe the exception of Kick-Ass, I didn't find Aaron Taylor Johnson very compelling. I don't find him a very good actor. But apparently since Bullet Train, now everybody's kind of on board. But guys, come on. Like, if you did anybody that watched this trailer find this appealing, that wants to see this movie? Come on. Like,
so the only thing that was interesting, and it's what Tanith just mentioned, Rhino is also a mutant. We see a teaser of Rhino at the end of the trailer.
I do. Tanith wants to see it. Tanith, please show your work, because Jesus wept.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to shame you for wanting to see this train wreck of a fucking film.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Rhino thing did look cool for sure. I mean, it's the 47th interpretation of Rhino we're getting, but still, I mean, it looks like it's going to be cool.
But beyond that, so what? So is Rhino going to be the villain in another villain story?
I don't
understand, man.
I guess it makes sense if he's like, but now is he like, it says villains are important, so he's the villain, and so it's gonna be a villain against another villain. Like, who fucking cares? What difference does it make?
You know
it's
what?
Already this without Spider-Man.
You know what? I was just gonna say, we already know Spider-Man's not in this fucking movie. So why are we bringing another Spider-Man villain without fucking Spider-Man? Like,
so
what are they doing?
So it's a giant thirst trap, really, because I don't think that's gonna be enough to sell tickets. Like, I can't fucking wait for this movie to drop a giant stinking turd in the box office because they think enough girls are gonna watch this because he's got abs. You can go to 7-Eleven and find a guy as pretty as this guy. Like, it's not. There's no. Fuck off with that. Like, that's a terrible reason to go. That's like me saying I'm only going to see Barbie for fucking Margot Robbie's feet. Like, that's awful. Like, that's, to me, let's throw $100 million at this just because this guy's got abs. Fuck off. Like, this movie looks terrible. My only thing that I could possibly think of is Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man. That's just how it is. And eventually they're going to sever things from Marvel and start making their own Spider-Man films again.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is all of these terrible other movies within what would be their own Sony Spider-Man universe is going to lead up to maybe a Sinister Six style, maybe something that will finally bring Spider-Man back. Right? I don't know. There's got to be a reason why they keep making. I said this to JS previously. How is the same studio that's making the Spider-Verse movies making these? It's the same Sony. It's the same. Who's?
Yeah.
What?
So hang on a second. So Tanith is saying here, technically the Penguin doesn't have Batman. You're right. Batman's not going to be in the Penguin TV show as far as we know, but the Penguin Batman still exists in the world of the Penguin, right? He even references him in the trailer. So we know that in the show The Penguin, the Bat is around and watching over them. Right.
And we don't know if we're not going to see the Bat on that.
And we don't know that we're not going to see the Batman, right? He could potentially show up. He
could pop up for sure. He could.
But so far he wasn't in Venom. He wasn't in Venom 2. He wasn't in Morbius. Like, and now we're at another Spider-Man villain with no Spider-Man. So it's like, I don't.
Yeah.
make Spider-Man movies. Right?
Yeah.
Bring these characters into Spider-Man movies. Cut your ties, make Spider-Man movies if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Like I said, I think my assumption is this is the long-term plan because they keep putting these turds out, but at least they're establishing these characters into what is their own Spider-Man universe. So my guess is they're bringing on, and you will get some sort of a Sinister Six versus Tom Holland or something along those lines, right? So
it's likely where it's heading.
Yes. I would assume so because there's no other reason for them to keep pumping out these terrible movies.
Mm-hmm.
None, right? Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm saying terrible movie. I'm including the Venom movies in that list. I enjoy the Venom movies, but I only enjoy them because Tom Hardy is so fantastic in them as both him, Eddie Brock, and Venom. Listening to him just argue with himself, I could listen to an hour of that. Like I'm just good. That's the draw for those movies for me. But at the end of the day, they're still not like amazing films, right? Like everybody know, even the people that like them, they're like, this isn't like highbrow entertainment. This is like popcorn flick fun movies, right?
And even then, right? It's yes, I'm the same as you. Like I like the movies, but
yes, but they can be pretty
still
cringy.
Very annoyed that they made Venom movies with no Spider-Man. Again, his origin story is so tied to Spider-Man. Like I was saying before we went live, the whole reason he looks like he looks is because of Spider-Man, right? Yeah. So, yeah, they need to stop. Sony needs to stop. And
it's time to. I'm going to hold a giant clock.
Yeah,
it's time to stop.
Yeah, they need to let the team that's behind the Spider-Verse movies handle Spider-Verse movies, right? Like, just leave it to those guys. Just stop the nonsense. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
I agree. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Is it that time, you think? Should we
Is it bean spilling time?
I don't know.
Well, they're your beans, sir.
I mean, they are my beans.
So if you want to spill your beans.
I mean, is anybody interested in beans?
I like beans.
I don't know.
There's a lot of melons earlier. But can you guys shift your focus from melons to beans?
We've kind of gotten known for, the bean spillers around here, but I don't know. Hashtag spill the beans has sort of disappeared over the last few weeks. So I don't know if Michael's saying flick your bean. Oh, what are you doing there?
It's time to stop. As soon as you said it's time to stop, all I could think of was this meme. That's like one of my all-time favorite memes. It's so good. Anyways, sorry. Continue. Continue. Spill them beans. Beans, farts, says Natasha. Look at that. Absolutely. Spill them. Spill them. Look at that. So the chance to spill them. Chance to spill them. Spill them. Beans. I won't post what Michael said. Michael, you pervert.
What's Michael saying? Where is he? I can't see it.
I mean, I'll post it, but
flick your bean. Oh yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. I'm working on a new cosplay.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to have it done for Fan Expo.
Get your sweaters out, kids. It's gonna get cold.
It is gonna get very cold. And if you guys have been following my personal account on Instagram, you've seen some cues over the last few weeks. I haven't made much of a secret about it, although I haven't addressed it completely. But Mr. Peter Jarvis is correct.
Mr. Freeze.
I'm doing a Mr. Freeze.
Now, JS, what can we expect from a JS Belanger Mr. Freeze? Is there a specific iteration of the character that you're using for inspiration? Because he has been portrayed differently across a lot of different media.
Yep.
What can we expect?
So for one, I am the base of the look is inspired by the current modern Freeze in the comic books.
Okay.
So if you were going to look at what Freeze looks like today, the look is going to be heavily inspired by that. But I'm gonna do it a little bit of my own thing. I want him to look a little bit older. He's all young and jacked in this. I want him to look a little bit older, a little bit more. I don't know. In my head, Mr. Freeze is not a young Jack character, right? He's more of an old scientist. So
I gotta be honest. Yeah, the I haven't seen a reference to it yet, but the animated series, the Batman the animated series, Mr. Freeze, that might be my all-time favorite Freeze.
Yeah. So,
although if it was me doing it, I would definitely do the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Well, I thought about that, but man, that's holy shit.
It's a lot
man.
more complex, but I mean,
That's a
come
lot
on,
of armor,
man.
dude. Like,
Happened to the dinosaurs, Ice Age, and you can just make all the worst puns ever. And
I mean, you're right. It's
because when you suit up as Freeze, until I put Batman on, all I'm gonna do is hit you with those terrible, terrible puns,
and that's
right? Like that's
fine.
okay, good.
That's
I don't want
totally
you to be upset.
fine. Now, Peter's asking lots of
Nice
plexi
to
and blue
meet you.
LEDs. Yes, lots of plexi and blue LEDs. I'm not gonna spoil it all just yet, but let me tell you something. It's not gonna be
Here's what people are really asking.
bald cap or shaving it. I haven't 100% decided yet. It likely a bald cap.
Asking the real questions. Our boy Peter here, bald cap or shaving it. Agreed.
Yeah, likely a bald cap.
Go big or go home. That's what I say. Yeah, might as
know.
well
We'll
do a
see.
40K cosplay. It's so complex. I don't think any of the crew are 40K guys. I probably know the most about 40K of anybody, and I don't play. I'm just big into the lore. So
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, not into 40K at all.
I do. Would I love to put together an Astartes and show up to a con dressed as an Astarte? 100% I would do that. But then I don't have like $10,000 to make a kick-ass Astartes cosplay, so it's not going to happen. Arnie Freeze would be hard, says Megan Avery. I agree, but like the laughs, man, like the lulls you would have going around like that. And the thing is, it'd be one of those things where everybody knows what you're doing. Nobody does it. You get to make terrible puns all day long. It looks cool.
Oh, I'm still going to make terrible puns all day long. What are you talking about?
Well,
I mean, it's Mr. Freeze, dude.
I like I said, I really like the animated series with the tragic Freeze with the his wife and the McGregor's.
Yeah, I am planning on trying to do like the Nora in the jar.
Yeah,
like I want to find a way to do that.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of comes with Freeze, right? I would do that over a Freeze gun.
I don't know if Andrew Saxon is still in here, but he brought a Freeze out for the first time at CK Expo. And the one thing the one thing that he told me, because I guess he tried to set it up, but he couldn't quite make it work. You get a voice box, get something that's going to amplify the sound, especially similar to, like I said, the animated series where he sounded very like he was talking through a suit.
Yeah,
that's, I think, is key. It's like pinnacle to making that character the coolest. If it sounds like your voice is almost being modulated through the suit, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the Arkham games. That would be more on you. Is there a Mr. Freeze in the Arkham series?
There is, and he's wearing more like a space suit, so it's massive, right? But it's cool. It's cool as hell. Again, lots of lights. But yeah, what I'm going for is more of the, like I said, current Mr. Freeze sleeveless.
So whereabouts? Where are you in the process right now? Like approximately.
So I've been testing out.
Yeah, get us the thing.
So for starters, I already have the goggles, and the goggles, for people that didn't know, have been sitting up there for weeks.
Oh, look at that. He's been teasing the
and then I've been testing out freezing my dome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then I've been testing out using lighting with the frozen dome. So
now the other thing that's yes. Yeah, there you go.
So if you're lighting it with blue lights and stuff, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I've also figured out a technique where I can spray my dome, and then you'll be able to stand there talking to me and see it freeze.
Oh, no, that's cool.
Okay.
Now, another tip that I got from Andrew too when he was doing his was fogging up. It is a problem. So you're going to have to find something to either treat it with inside or some type of ventilation to move air through it, because otherwise you're going to fog up, you're going to condense.
Yeah, I'm planning on having some sort of a fan on the inside.
Yeah, you'll have to.
For sure. Because otherwise it's yeah. Actually, I'm thinking the apparatus on my chest will have a fan, and it'll all be open, right?
Right, and it just
on
blow
the inside,
through.
so air will be able to circulate through.
Yeah.
And then yes, exactly. There's going to be LED through the base of the dome, so that the dome is lit up from the bottom. So all the ice is going to glow because it's going to look like it's lit
nice to meet you.
Yeah. There are other little things that I'm working on as well. I am working with a 3D modeler that I'm hoping to have a first draft of something this week. And then the rest of the the apparatus and tank and everything is probably all going to be foam. So
you've caught Peter's attention. His maker's mind is swirling. Maybe you two ought to have a little chitty chat.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be something.
I'm personally very, very excited for it. It would be very, very cool to have you, like, if I'm Batmaning and you're freezing, and Megan is Ivying and Rob is Riddlering. Like, dude, that will slay. Yeah, dude, that'll be wicked. So very, very looking forward to that for sure.
I needed a proper DC villain.
Well, I didn't think there was anything wrong with yours, but I understand. This would be a level up from what you had. There's no question. And it's freeze. Yeah. It's, again, same thing. It's one of those characters that everybody knows, but very, very few people do.
Yeah.
There's 8 million Batman out there. There's not very many Mr. Freezes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So if you're going to be dressing up as Batman for Fan Expo this year, make sure you come on by, because we're going to
Sunday is our DC day.
That is for sure.
There you go. So this is exciting. I'm working on a big build for Fan Expo 2. Very cool, Megan. Very cool. Really love the DC villains. Yes, you do.
Megan Avery, maybe you can spill some beans and let us know what you're working on.
And Red Moon Glassworks does a great Zatanna. So by all means.
Oh, there you go. Was that Zatanna at?
That was Zatanna
Fan Expo last year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
a couple things in the works for FE for me as well. Look at you guys with all these big plans for FE. Nice. Yes, I got a costume in the mail yesterday. One of my FE costumes came in the mail yesterday, so I just got to get it adjusted. And oh no beans for me. So this is your beans episode, sir. I'm not spilling any beans on my side. I'll spill my beans next week.
But I don't know about this.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I do?
You do.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think here. I thought we've discussed all our plans. I didn't realize you were ordering anything new. Okay. Well, we'll have to talk after we go off the air.
Yeah, we'll have to have some freezies on hand for when he's Mr. Freeze for sure.
Yeah, that would be genius, actually.
Hand some freezies.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know how.
Just not DC related. Can someone kick Marianne from the channel, please? We're in DC mood right now. That's not.
I'm trying to think. Does Marianne have a DC?
What? Of course you should. What are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Does Marianne have a DC cosplay? I'm trying to think.
That's a good question. I don't. Jeff actually made me want to build this. Megan, I am honored.
Marianne, what do you have a DC cosplay? You need to DC it up for us on.
I feel like she's done a Harley.
Expo Sunday.
I feel like she's done a Harley at one point. I'm trying to remember, Marianne, if you've done anything DC related. I'm terrible for remembering people's cosplays.
Yeah, she's Supergirl, Ivy, and Harley. Okay.
Oh, Supergirl. Yes. Sorry, Supergirl and Harley. I remembered specifically. I wasn't sure about Ivy, but Toxic Fox, Brittany saying more DC. Yes, more DC.
Sir. Yeah.
If you're gonna have freezies, they should shoot out of your freeze gun. If you do the gun, that's all right. We can't be shooting freezies at people. We're gonna start.
I mean, not a bad idea, but
not a terrible idea. But like, we got to keep this safe.
Yes.
So we're just have a cooler, and producer Jen can just go every time he comes out. It'll be one of those things. Like every time we use a freeze pun, we got to hand out freezies for it.
Hey, the one thing that I had on my list that we haven't talked about.
Sorry,
I wanted to get to quickly, and we're already 58 minutes in. So
I know.
The Witcher season 3 is coming out soon, as in like next week. Guys, like last season of Witcher, I think the first season was like that as well. They're coming out with the first half of the season. It's all going to release as one, and then I think around Christmas time.
No, a month after.
Oh, is it that quick after?
Yep.
Okay, so a month after. There you go.
The first one drops in exactly a week. The first episode drops on the 29th.
Yeah.
Sorry, the first 4 episodes of the 3rd season, and then a month later, let me just see if I can get the news up here for it. A month later, you get the other 4 episodes. So
right, and this looks like it's picking up right where season 2 left off.
Yeah, they're calling it Volume 1 and Volume 2 essentially. So
yeah. I don't know if you guys are into The Witcher, but there's a teaser. It's not even a teaser. It's like a scene, or what do they call those?
Oh, 5 episodes. Sorry. So the first 5 episodes will get dropped on June 29th, and then the second half, the final 3 episodes, will be released less than a month later on July 27th. So they're not going 4 and 4; they're going 5 and then 3.
There you go.
So yeah, June 29th and then July 27th, and of course, as we've discussed, this is Henry Cavill's last outing as The Witcher. Let's all say, a quick prayer for.
I mean, that's going to be the last outing of The Witcher, as far as I'm concerned, because I have a feeling.
I'm sure Liam Hemsworth is a wonderful person and a great actor, and I've seen him in some stuff, and I enjoy Liam Hemsworth, but he ain't no Henry Cavill, and there's no fucking way he's going to look as cool and badass as The Witcher as Henry Cavill does, because I don't think anybody could look as cool and as badass as The Witcher as Henry Cavill does. So they just released a clip online. I sent it to JS, and a good chunk of the clip is this huge fight scene with Henry Cavill and like a whole bunch of people and like there's sword and there's magic, but it's not like one of those like Hollywood fight scenes where it's a lot of shaky camera and like up and close. No. It's just like a static camera that's just kind of rotating around, and you get to see all these different aspects of the fight.
Like you're playing a video game.
It's bonkers.
Yeah,
it's bonkers. And the guys that have worked with Cavill through the first and second season have said, not only does he pick up on all this stuff so quickly, but they talk about Cavill like if he wanted to, he could be one of the greatest swordsmen in the world, is how well he picks up on all these fight choreography with the sword. It's like the sword is attached to his arm kind of thing. That's how they talk about it. So I think there's a reason why they can film these scenes with Cavill like that, showing so much of you what's going on, because he's so invested and he's so good at it. And I'm sorry, man. I'm very excited for the final Cavill season of The Witcher. I'm going to be doing my Geralt cosplay again. I just did it at NFCC. I'm doing it again in 2 days at Forest City. It went over very well at NFCC. I don't know why people seem to really dig it. So even though this ain't no Cavill,
and you're not doing leather armor Geralt, you're doing like casual Geralt, right?
Exactly the Geralt that you see in the fight scene that I
in
sent
the fight
you.
scene,
the shirt with the buttons, the pants that are high pants or whatever, and the sword and the wig and the contacts. It's a very easy cosplay to wear. It's very comfy, but why is Cavill being cut from all his roles? From what I understand, he left The Witcher more so than he cut. From what the rumors are, he left over creative differences. He wanted it to be closer to the source book material, and they did not want to do that. And and the writers and producers have said too that he was difficult to work with, in the fact that he kept on wanting it to be closer to the canon. And I guess
he's very familiar with the canon.
He's passionate about. That's why he wanted to be Geralt in the first place.
Like when you hire a nerd to be in your property that they nerd about, you have to expect that they're gonna know what they're talking about, but they're also gonna have a predefined way of this is how it should be, right?
That's Peter. That's a good reference, man. Liam Neeson's fence jump. I don't know which was that taken to. It was one of the movies, anyways. Poor Liam Neeson. He had to jump a fence, and they had so many cuts of him jumping over this fence. I don't know if it was 18, but it was a lot of cuts of him getting over this fence. And then you watch this fight scene that Henry Cavill's in, and there's not a fucking cut to be found. It's just 2 minutes of him just wrecking guys with his sword. That's the problem, I guess, right?
So I've never played the Witcher games, so I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're like. My understanding is they are fairly open world style games.
Right.
The one open world style game that I'm very familiar with are the Arkham games. And when you're fighting in the Arkham games and you're fighting a big crowd of people, the way you move between opponents and when you block, when they all start attacking you, and you boom and you block and you block and you block, and then that clip was exactly that. Like it gave me the feel of me playing Arkham. Like it was really well done. Really well done.
And I truly believe, I don't know that you can do that with anybody else in the world right now. How dedicated he is to the role, how great of a swordsman he is, and how well he's come along with all his trainers and all the fight choreographed guys, and how serious he's taking it. It's like when you watch John Wick. I just watched John Wick 4. You can't do that movie with almost anybody else because of what Keanu Reeves brings to that role. It's like the Mission Impossible movies. You can't do those without Tom Cruise because who else are you going to get to fly a helicopter in a fucking canyon in the middle of winter because he can do all that shit. I don't think there's anybody that can do this but Henry Cavill with his physique, his dedication, his choreography, his fight moves, his swordsmanship skills. He's the total package for this type of role. Look up Richard Gere's sword mishap. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that kind of stuff happens all the time, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Brandon Lee, look up what just happened on the film Rust. Like, accidents happen on films. It happens shockingly too often. But when you get guys that are like that are like a peak physical condition, consummate professionals, hard training, it's a whole different animal, right? So I'm really excited for season 3. People say season 2 was a step back. It's hard to disagree. It maybe was on Witcher, but this season so far looks like it's shaping up to be fantastic. I had no problem with season 2, but I understand why people had issues with season 2 for sure.
I liked season 2, and this seems to pick up right where season 2 ended. I mean, I guess it's not really spoiling anything if I say that she got her magic back at the end, and in this trailer,
Stella got her groove back.
She shows you that she has her magic back, and she faces off against who's that? Who's the bad guy again? I forget his name now.
The
other fire wizard. Magic guy.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's not Stregobor. He's the old wizard that she's.
Anyway,
yeah.
They're fighting him. Listen, go watch the clip. If that doesn't make you want to watch the show, then it's not the show for you. That's
no, for sure. Of course. It's not for everybody. There's no question there, but it's for me. And yeah, I'm not familiar with any of the source material, guys. I haven't played the games. I haven't read the books. I'm just enjoying the show for what the show is. So I can't be one of those like, they got this. Well, actually, they got I don't care about any of that.
Spin-off show?
I did.
What'd you think?
I think it probably got brutalized a little bit more than it needed to, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same argument that I have with Spider-Verse versus, Morbius and Craven. You're clearly not putting as much effort and clearly not putting as much money into that spinoff as you were into the main show. So it looked like an afterthought. It looked like a spinoff show. Like the effects were nowhere near as good. The settings were nowhere near as good. The acting was the choreography wasn't as near. So it just seemed like a lesser, like, why do it if you're not going to put the same kind of effort and money into it? So like, it was okay for what it was. If you'd never seen The Witcher, it would have been fine. When you see The Witcher and it's supposed to be the same thing, you're like, this is not the same thing at all. This is not good compared to that. Compared to a lot of other things, yeah, it was all right. But compared to The Witcher, no, that was rough.
And I guess the only good thing that really came out of it was they showed you how they created the first Witcher.
Yeah, but even then, it's just like, I was not.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. It wasn't a great show. I mean,
we binged it in a day or a weekend or whatever. Yeah. So, like, I've certainly watched worse things. There's no question, but.
Well, Michelle Yeoh's in it, so
like it's one of those things where like they did that Total Recall reboot with Kate Beckinsale and Colin Farrell, and if that hadn't been a Total Recall reboot, if they just tweaked it and made it just like a cool sci-fi action movie, I think it would have been fine. But it wasn't. They made it a Total Recall reboot, and it's a film you don't need a reboot, and B, it didn't get anywhere close to living up to Total Recall. So taken on its own, it might have been okay, but once you tie it to that original property and it doesn't hold a candle to it.
Agreed.
So The Witcher Blood Origins probably would have been all right if it wasn't The Witcher Blood Origins, if it had just been called something else and they just tweaked a little bit. But compared to The Witcher, man, I'm sorry. But again, now you're talking about The Witcher's I think one of the best things on TV. So it's one of those, it's like the fantasy Mandalorian, right?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Stoic hero, saves a small girl, trains her. You know what I mean? Like, he's basically a better looking Pedro Pascal. And don't come after me, internet. You're right. That's what I said. Better looking Pedro Pascal. You bring that shit. All right. You bring it. I know Pedro Pascal is the internet's daddy right now, but don't be going after my Henry Cavill. All right. The man's been blessed by the God.
As far as I'm concerned, Pedro has nothing on Henry. Come on.
Nobody does. That man. Whew, I'm getting sweaty. Anyways. We should start wrapping this up, sir.
We should. So Forest City Comic Con this weekend, you are going to be judging the contests.
I'll be super judgy.
Are you going to be dressing up?
Yes, I will be Geralt of Rivia again.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
easy to wear. Yeah, just easy to. Why not both? Says Marianne. No, but both is good. Both is good. Yeah. So I know Ray Gray cosplay will be there as well. She will be one of the judges. I don't know what she's wearing yet. I don't think she knows either. There is a third judge, someone I'm not.
I'm gonna go with something anime related.
You might be right. Yes, we will be there for the con. Runs from 10 till 6. We will be there at 9:30. I think the cosplay contest starts at 4. I want to say, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're gonna there's 2 separate tables. There'll be a table for us as the cosplay judges, and then there'll be a separate table for the cosplay registration. So if you're looking to enter the contest, all the rules, by the way, for the contest, I've had a bunch of people message me about the rules. They are on the Forest City Comic Con webpage. If you go to the cosplay section of the contest, they use the internationally assigned rules. So there's different categories and what you need to do to satisfy those categories. So Red Sonja, nice. Brittany, yes, love that character. Awesome. Can't wait to see that. So yeah, it should be a good time. Come on out, have some fun. It's a nice little con. You can meet one of the stars of Deadpool 1, 2, and now 3 confirmed. You can meet Colossus. He will be there.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Who plays Colossus in the Deadpool movies?
Stefan, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's very Russian. Or Eastern European anyway.
Oh, so he's an actual Eastern European guy.
Yes.
Because I know in the original Marvel movies, it was
that other dude.
Reacher. What's his fucking name?
No, not the same guy that does Reacher.
Reacher played Colossus.
Different guy.
Pretty sure.
Nope.
Really?
Yep. Alan Ritchson is the guy that plays Reacher. He was also Hawk on Titans.
He was.
And
also Master Chief in Halo.
And he was Aquaman in Smallville.
Sorry, he was Master Chief in the Halo web series that had come out many years ago.
There you go. Yeah, it was not the original.
Not the Halo Colossus, TV show. Though. Oh, he was not the original Colossus.
He was not the original Colossus. Different kid, different guy. Another big jack dude, but not Alan Ritchson. I don't remember that gentleman's name. He was not fond of the fact that Colossus was recast, that's for sure.
Especially since all the other X-Men are in the first Deadpool, or is it in the second Deadpool movie? I forget now.
Daniel Cudmore is the original Colossus from the X-Men films, and then Stefan Kapicic, there's a lot of accents over that brother's name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now the Deadpool, now the Colossus in the Deadpool films, who has been confirmed for Deadpool 3. So,
yeah.
In fact, I think pretty much everybody except for Domino and Cable have been pretty much confirmed to be coming over to Deadpool 3. Blind Al, Dopinder, Vanessa, Teenage Negasonic Warhead. They've all been. Well, no, at the very end of Deadpool 2, he fixed the time slide device, Cable's time slide device, and then saved her.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Because again, talk about the sweats, Marina Baccarin. Whew. It's not DP without Dopinder. A little trivia fact for you: the gentleman that plays Dopinder also voices Spider-Man India in Across the Spider-Verse. That is Dopinder, same guy. And by the way, he's wonderful at Spider-Man India. Spider-Man India is a great character in that film. So yeah, he does a very, very good job. Yeah,
I got to see that movie.
Check it out. Really do. Okay.
Yeah. All righty.
Let's wrap this shit up. You got nothing else coming up, right? You're going to be working on your freeze until we get to.
So I'm working on some helmets.
The helmets too. Yes, of course.
3 helmets that I'm hoping to have done again for Fan Expo as well. I'm making a Bo-Katan, which is basically done. It just needs to be painted.
Perfect.
I've got an armorer that I'm about halfway there, and I just printed the Din Djarin bucket. So I got all 3 that are in the works that should be ready for Fan Expo that I'll be raffling off, guys. If you're interested in some Mando helmets, like I said, I'm raffling off 3 of them at Fan Expo. But that's it. I'm going to be, if I can get rid of this back pain so I can get back to work, but I'm going to be in the prop shop constantly for the next while. So I'm probably not going to be at any kind of shows for a little bit.
Guys, we're 2 months away from Fan Expo, by the way, guys. It's only 2 months away. So whatever you're prepping, whatever you're building, whatever you're putting together, you got 2 months, kids.
Got to get moving. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've already got
All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching us, guys. Hey, for everybody that stuck with us live here this whole time, you guys are friggin' champs. We love you. Episode 96 next week. I don't know what. Oh, actually, I think we have a special guest next week.
Oh, good.
Make sure you check in. For now, that'll be it. Stay geeky. We'll see you then.
Oh!
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.